Senator from Ohio is
Thank you,
recognized.
Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Booker. I will be very brief. I want to hear from certainly Senator Bennett, and then I know that the presiding officer is going to switch chairs and be out here speaking on this. And I am so appreciative of the presiding officer who won his election just on January 5th, was declared the winner. I don't know, Georgia elections are a little different for those of us from other places. And as soon as he was named the winner of that election, came here and been in the Senate about 6 or 7 weeks now, and already a leader on this fight that Senator Booker talked about on the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. And I've been here long enough to remember when the earned income tax credit was, people just didn't know much about it, and including our constituents. And I used to, when I was a member of the House, I would ask accountants, CPAs and public accountants to volunteer their time a couple Saturdays a month for the 2 or 3 months before April 15th. And they would volunteer their time, and we encouraged people to sign up for the earned income tax credit. And people making $20,000 or $25,000 a year with kids would often get $2,000 or $3,000 in a tax refund in real dollars back because they benefited from the earned income tax credit. So what Senator Bennett and I have worked on for a number of years is to continue to expand the earned income tax credit, and now a big expansion of the child tax credit. And Senator Bennett had led on that issue, on that expansion, and we've worked together with Senator Booker and now Senator Warnock to make a huge difference. I mean, when I voted from this chair on March 6th, we had been in session all night. We had voted time after time after time. It was a partisan vote. I mean, partisanship is not what Senator McConnell and my Republican colleagues say it is. Something is partisan or nonpartisan is what the voters think. And the voters overwhelmingly support the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit in the whole American Rescue Act. And that, it will make such a huge difference in people's lives. But I remember after that vote, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was walking out of the building to drive back to Ohio. I drive every week, or a young man drives with me every week back home. And a reporter stopped me and said, "What do you think?" I said, "This was the best day of my political life." Because what we did, as Cory Booker said, we are cutting the child poverty rate in half. And in my state, and I don't think Colorado or Georgia is much different, my state, 92% of children in my state, 92% of children will benefit from the child tax credit, and their families often also benefit from the earned income tax credit. What's not to love about that? That's why 40 Democratic senators are signing a letter to the President of the United States asking, we've done this for a year, this expansion of child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. We should do it permanently. And that's the mission that the 4 of us senators sitting in this room have, is to make sure this is permanent. Because we know there will likely be good economic growth next quarter, the quarter after, in large part because of what we've done with this Rescue Act. There'll be strong economic growth, but I want to make sure that growth is shared by people at the bottom. And it so often isn't. We've seen for 20 years, 30 years, we've seen executive compensation explode upwards. We've seen profits up. We've seen worker productivity is up, but workers' wages are flat. That's why in the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, we're working so hard to make sure that we provide more housing for people so that people have safe, affordable, accessible housing in this country, because too often they don't. And that committee, it's called the Senate Banking Committee around here. It's officially Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, but for years it's all about banking and Wall Street, very little about housing and urban affairs, and we're changing that. And we're changing that in part because this body, under Senator Bennett's leadership and in others, this body is actually going to do the right thing, as Cory Booker said, and make sure that America's children have greater opportunity than they've had in the past. And that's why I'm thrilled to be part of this effort. I yield to my friend from Colorado, Senator Bennett.